The vibrant world of New York was the perfect backdrop for the mercenary known as Deadpool. Wade Wilson, or Deadpool as he preferred to be called, strolled down the bustling streets, his iconic red suit catching the eye of passers-by. His mind, however, was focused entirely on his next mission, a covert operation involving retrieving a stolen case containing dangerous bioweapons that were now in the hands of an underground syndicate that had no qualms about wreaking havoc on the city. The day began like any other for Deadpool. He started at the coffee shack, getting his usual espresso shot to jolt him into full consciousness. As he stood sipping his coffee, mentally reviewing his strategy for breaching the syndicate's stronghold, he couldn't help but scan the crowd. Despite considering himself an anti-hero, he was always alert to danger, ready to intervene in exchange for some good old-fashioned chaos, and maybe even a free chimichanga if he was lucky. Today was different though. As he sipped the last of his beverage, his attention was drawn to a shadowy figure maneuvering through the crowd with an unwarranted level of stealth. A fellow mercenary? Perhaps. Intrigued, Deadpool decided to follow the figure discreetly, a feat easier said than done when you're wearing a bright red and black suit. As he tailed the figure, a phone buzz in his pocket drew his attention. A message from Weasel, his trusty informant with a knack for finding out who was behind the nefarious plots in the city. Found the case. Back alley at 47th Street. Looks like tonight's gonna be a busy one. Deadpool couldn't help but grin under his mask, excitement bubbling at the thought of action. Navigating the busy streets with his usual charm, a mix of sarcasm and jabs at unsuspecting pedestrians' outfits, Deadpool made his way to the meetup point. The alley was dark and abandoned, perfect for the clandestine nature of the operation. Dead shadows danced on the walls, illuminated intermittently by the alternating headlights of cars passing by the street at the far end. Suddenly, the air was filled with a tense silence, the kind where you could almost hear your own heartbeat. Steeling himself, Deadpool edged closer to the faint hum of voices, a precursor to the confrontation that would follow. The syndicate thugs were conversing in hushed tones, outlining plans that made Deadpool chuckle at their apparent incompetence. They were oblivious to his silent approach until it was too late. "Why, hello there, gentlemen. Hope I'm not interrupting anything important," he quipped, nonchalantly twirling his katana. Utter chaos ensued. Deadpool was a maestro in battle, orchestrating a symphony of swift moves coupled with relentless banter. The syndicate members, though numerous, were ill-prepared for the onslaught brought by the merc with a mouth. By the time the last thug hit the pavement, Deadpool was vertiginously bounding over to where the case lay. "Come to Papa," he murmured, lifting it with exaggerated reverence, aware of the eyes that might be watching his triumphant retrieval. As he sauntered back into the cityscape, casually dragging the case behind him, Deadpool hummed the theme to Groove Is in the Heart, contemplating the events of the day and the savory chimichanga reward that awaited his return. The mission was a success, and while tomorrow promised new escapades for Wade Wilson, today was just another day in the life of the infamous Deadpool, humor intact, enemies dispatched, and the city, at least for the moment, safe from the clutches of enemies unknown. He loved this unpredictable dance with danger, ever ready to spring into action at the call for justice, redemption, or simply for fun. The night was young, and in New York, for Deadpool, the adventures were just beginning.